Hey folks, I'll keep this short and sweet, just like our practice. You're gonna want a large, thick resistance band. If you don't have one, any resistance band that's long will do. If you don't have a resistance band, use a strap or a scarf. Grab your tool and I'll meet you standing. Start with your feet about hips width, maybe slightly wider. Arms out in front of you, palms face down, nice and wide grip on whatever tool you're using. Lift up with the inhale, reach a little bit back, and then bring the arms forward and down. As you start to warm up, you'll reach further back, maybe all the way to your low back, and all the way forward again. So big rotations through your shoulders. Just 5 more like that. Nice, find a little squeeze apart with the hands at the top. 1 more. Good. Keep the strap overhead, toe heel your feet wide, toes out, heels in. Take a nice deep squat and then stand up. As you squat, think that you pull your hands slightly apart. The strap might tap you at the top of the head. Squeeze wide with the arms as you dip low. So you're just squatting. Nice and simple. Try to keep your chest lifted. It's probably going to want to lean forward here. Good stuff. Next time you're low, drop your strap down in front of you. Don't worry about it. Bring your fingertips to the floor. If they don't touch, elbows can touch your thighs. You might walk your feet in a touch closer so that you can get your hands down to the ground. And then extend your hips up, keep a soft bend in your knees, walk your right hand in the center underneath you, and then go ahead and straighten your right leg, take your left hand to your low back, look over your left shoulder. Try and steer your left butt cheek towards the right and really spiral the top shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Good, come back to the squat, so you'll bend both knees, your heels could gently lift, fingertips touch the floor. We're going over to the other side, left fingertips underneath the heart. Extend your hips up, soft bend in the knees, and then go ahead and straighten your right leg. Take your left hand to your low back. Pardon me, your right hand to your low back. And take a look up. Good, back through to your squat, hips low. Nice, stand all the way up, straighten the legs. You can take the arms up, big breath in. Go ahead and squat low. Good. We're gonna take that side to side a little bit swifter now. Right hand underneath you, lift the hips, and then you'll straighten your left leg. Left hand to your low back. Go ahead and come down through the squat through the center and go to the other side. Straighten the right leg, right hand to the low back. Good, squat through the center. Stand all the way up. Nice, you can send the arms up. Interlace your hands behind your skull this time. Widen the elbows, lift your face up towards the ceiling. Squat low. We'll add a little bit here. Right hand under the heart, lift the hips. You can straighten both legs this time if you'd like. Take the left arm, peel it open, and think that you draw that arm further back behind you. Squat through the center, over to the other side. Squat through the center. Come up to stand, interlace the hands behind your head, lean back a little bit, hips come forward. Good. Squat low, fingertips touch the ground. Start with the right hand down, lift the hips, open the arms, drop the butt, squat through the center, over to the other side. Good. Squat through the center, rise up, find that back bend once more. Good. Squat low. Right hand starts, parallel the feet. Good. Click the heels in, squat. Parallel the feet, go to the other side. Find your squat. Elbows touch thighs. If you're up for it, hover the arms, bounce up and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand, hands on your hips, parallel your feet, fold over your 2 legs. You can lunge from side to side, soft bend in each knee. Good. Come down onto your hands and knees, find a tabletop. Plant the hands under shoulders, knees under hips, drop the belly and arch with a breath in. With your breath out, lift the ribs, push the floor away round. Couple more. Really good. Neutralize the spine, flip both fingertips in towards your knees, soft bend in the elbows, rock a little bit back, rock a little bit forward. Take a circle of your shoulders in one direction. It doesn't have to be big, especially if this is a new sensation for you. Go the other way. Go back through to the center. Fingertips face forward. You'll tuck your toes underneath you. Walk your hands in one handprint and then lift your knees off of the ground. So you're in a little kind of squatty, shortened tabletop here. Sit your hips back towards your heels. Your heels do not have to touch the ground. And then maybe you lift your hands, lift your chest. Hands can go anywhere that works. Bring your hands back down to the ground. Drop your knees back down to the ground. Gorgeous. Lift your knees. Come up into a squat. And then plant your hands. Drop your knees back down. The idea will be to try to find this with maybe less hand support, right? So as your knees come down, you'll keep your chest lifted. And then as you want to lift your knees, you could do one and then the other, and then the same idea on the way down, one and then the other. And as you start to get used to this, you'll think pull your belly in, try to lift them both at the same time, roll to your heels, and then roll back to the balls of your feet. Know that you can use your hands at any point in the journey to make it a little bit easier. And eventually, I want you to try to sink your heels to the ground. That might mean for some of you that you walk your feet wider and maybe point your toes more out. Really good. We're going to come up to stand. You'll choose your right leg, keep it where it is, step your left leg forward, have your feet on railroad tracks. This mat's really nice because I've got a line in the middle and I know that my feet are on opposite sides, but you know about spatial awareness, hopefully, in your own body, that you can see that your feet are in two different lines. Hands on your hips, hug your left hip back and rotate your right hip slightly forward until the eyes of the hips feel like they're facing forward. As you shift your chest forward, drive your back heel into the ground. You could softly bend your front knee. Just come into a straight line, extend it over your left leg. And then rise back up to stand. Good. Try that again. Good morning over your leg. That's what this movement's called. As you hinge forward and come back up, it's a good morning. If your leg feels okay with it, you'll keep the leg straightened. Couple more. Really good. Come up to stand, bounce your left foot even more forward and bend into the knee. Try to keep your right heel down on the ground. Sweep both arms up, catch your right wrist with your left hand and do the mental gymnastics for a moment. Your left hand holds your right wrist. Side bend to the left. Keep driving the back heel into the floor. Push the left knee a little bit wide. Good. Release that and we'll step forward. Left leg steps back, and you'll start with somewhat straightness through both legs. Hands on the hips, square it off, pitch the chest forward. If you need to bend the front knee, no, you can, and then come up. And the idea is you try to keep the legs straight. The operative word is try, but know that if you're starting to round in your low back to keep the legs straight, you're kind of not going to get the benefit in the legs. So you might soften the knee so that your spine can stay nice and flat as you come forward. And you'll think that you drive your hips back like you're trying to reach your butt towards if there's a wall behind you or just whatever target is behind your body. Think of that. 2 more here. Widen your stance or elongate your stance rather so that you can bend your front knee a lot. Keep driving the back heel down, sweep the arms up, and in your brain identify your right hand. Take the right hand, catch the left wrist, reach up, and go to the right with the upper body. Good. Back through to the center, release the arms. Bring your feet back together. Find one low primal squat. Elbows can go wide into the legs. They can the fingertips can tap down onto the ground. Be in the depth of your hips. Take 3 breaths. Really nice work. That's it for our movement sesh today, and I'll see you again soon.